Hello. There's a Floofycat under my desk. I don't think she's in the mood to be picked up though. And Chip's on the bed in the next room, so it's lazy cat time. It's overcast. It's been warm the last few days, so things are blooming. So allergy season has kicked in, so just warn you, if there's jump cuts in this video, it's probably because I'm sneezing. Excuse me, Floof. Sorry. Hey! She's purring, but she will kill me. So, I did go to a thrift store today. I did not buy anything. So this video is not going to be as long as the video from last week. And I had a lot of buyer's regret, thrifting remorse from the stuff I got last week. So quite a bit of it went onto eBay. I don't expect to sell all of it, but enough has bids on it that I will have been paid back for what I did spend. And what doesn't sell, I might go ahead and try to customize. But for now, I'm just taking a step back from it and trying to let myself breathe. I spent yesterday cutting out pieces for some human-sized thing I wanted to sew. I forget how long that takes. Actually, no, I don't forget how long that takes. That's why I do doll clothes so much more than person clothes, is because doll clothes are so fast. So my brain gets happy at being finished faster. But I have so many patterns and so much cool cloth that I really do need to make the effort to sew more for human size. Sunday I spent, among other things, just dressing some dolls. Pratima here. I realized that I had not taken any photos of her in her blue wig. I think when I first put the blue wig on her, I showed her in a video. So I decided to... Actually, the first thing I decided to do is I drew some eyeliner on her eyes, painted some eyeliner on her eyes, including some wings. And since this head was from a cheap souvenir doll, the lip paint was literally just an off-center asymmetrical blob of red. So I went ahead and used red paint to make her lips a little more even. I don't use red much, because not necessarily this red, but I've had red in the past that has, the pigment has gotten into the vinyl and started migrating, which is why you're not supposed to use Sharpie, because the pigment is so fine that it gets into the vinyl and just starts moving around. And I know if I would clear coat the face before painting, that would act as a barrier, and I could be free to put red lipstick straight on dolls anytime I want on soft vinyl heads. So she has a hard head, so there's no chance of it seeping and bleeding. But I like to paint on bare vinyl, and I'm just used to the way the brush feels on the vinyl, which that's part of the problem that I have with painting like resin dolls and dolls that have been clear coated before I can paint them. It just feels weird. And I had this simple tube Barbie dress that's a half print that someone had given to me. And I just had the ridiculous idea. I mean, it's just a tube of a dress. There's no shaping to it. It did have a belt, but I cut the belt off. A half piece of ribbon around just the front half. The print's only in the front half. There's no shaping to it. And the edges are serged. So I got the idea, I know I'm such a rebel, to pair this with the most detailed item of doll clothing I own, which is this sweater from the Aoshima Girls Mission doll I had about 10 years ago, 11 years ago. And I believe the sweater's made by Azone, and it's knit, it's cardigan. It's really, really lightweight, fine knit, and it is, as they say, fully fashioned, which means it's definitely not cut and sewn, and it's not knit in flat pieces. They actually reduce and increase the number of rows. I don't knit. I don't know the exact terms for this. So the pieces are somewhat shaped before being put together. Anyway, and for no real reason I put it on this catwalk. Kitty's sushi head on a painted to match gymnast Barbie body. I guess I was kind of on a gymnast Barbie body kick because I have another doll that I dressed over the weekend who has the same, almost the same body. This one, except for the neck, she's unaltered. It's the full-size feet, which makes it kind of hard to dress. This one was when I was trying to carve down the feet, so her feet are actually relatively small compared to an actual gymnast Barbie foot. but I didn't reduce the width much, and now I know that reducing the width is what needs to be reduced. So if I ever cut down a gymnast Barbie foot again, I'll know I need to make it just not as wide. But as you can see, she does fit. These cut down feet do fit in roughly Blythe size shoes. These are just Monique. They're not that high quality, but it's nice to have some options in shoes for these gymnast bodies. So you can see the dress, half print, serged edges. It does have straps, so it's not just a pure tube. But this sweater, I don't know if you can see how it's created inside. It's not just seam allowances sewn together. It is made like a real sweater, with each piece knit to shape and shaped, and then Floof, stop biting my knee. Okay. So then I think I showed you I bought that Choco-Cat Barbie shirt. And I was looking at it and I realized, you know, most of these new Barbie clothes are designed to fit all the body sizes, which means they optimally fit curvy, and the other sizes they're not too tailored on. I've seen some people putting some of these new Barbie shirts on the Kens too. I don't know if Mattel intended that. So I looked at that Choco-Cat shirt and thought, you know, I don't want to put it on a curvy right now, so maybe I'll try having it be part of a layered look. And the doll I'd actually started that day with touching up, she was my second one to touch up, was that Barbie Star Trek 50th Anniversary Vina doll, who has stock. The hair is really weird. There's like these really thick bangs, and then this really thick, like, curvy thing around it, and then long hair. In theory, if you fix it right, it can look a little bit like a bouffant over long hair, but it didn't really, and that's not a look I wanted anyway. So I dressed her in layers and I cut her hair. My first thing I did that day, though, was she also has blue eyes with fairly small irises, so I just went over those with black and filled in the whole side of the eye so that she would be more of a toy side glancing look and less a realistic side glance look. And dressed her in layers. Choco-Cat shirt is real Barbie. These leggings are, of course, the ubiquitous Made to Move leggings, and I made this shirt and that skirt. Old action figure watch. Because since she has factory green plastic, she's not painted, I can do things with her that I can't do with my normal painted body dolls. Like, if you leave watches like this on a normal doll with painted body, there's a risk of the soft plastic from the watch sticking to the paint on the body. So when you take the soft plastic thing off, the paint on the body sticks to the soft plastic thing and not the body, so then you have a chunk of unpainted body, which is not good. And also these shoes are such a close fit, I would never dare try to put shoes like this on a painted body for fear that it would scrape everything off. Now they don't fit her perfectly because she has more of the collector's style larger feet, and these are the Barbie ponytail size, which is curvy and tall, but it's close enough. And her hair, what's left of her hair was the weird sort of, some people said it looked like a couch. So it's the weird couch part of original hair, and I put a wrap around it a little bit and very carefully got just the tops of it submerged in the hot water so that it wouldn't take the original curl out. And then I cut off all the really long parts, and I did, I think, an okay job getting the back of her hair short enough and looking like just this style with like the buzz under the bob. So happy with her. And then I was going through my bag of doll dresses and I stumbled across that Wonder Woman blue dress from the movie with the drapes all over the sword in the back. And I was looking at it and I thought, I don't like these drapey parts because they are unfinished. They're just cut raw edges. And I wondered if it would be possible to somehow take them off. I didn't want to pick it apart and re-sew it, although of course that probably actually would have been the easiest thing to do. But what I ended up doing is getting my very sharp scissors, very, very sharp, like cut myself and not even feel it sharp. I wish I didn't know how, that's how sharp they were. But so very carefully, and there was strong sunlight coming in my window, so very carefully and with good light, I cut well, I cut the stitching off of the places where it was just stitched together, which was one shoulder and across the front. And then the sides where it was sewn into the hems, I very carefully cut down right next to the actual side of the dress. And this is what that dress looks like without the drapey parts on an older gymnast style body with high heels, wearing massive late 90s platform shoes. And this dress still is a bit long. But I am happy that I took the time to cut that dress apart, because I like this now as a good basic piece. But if you wanted to take the time, and her shoe fell off. If you want to take the time to pick the dress apart, so you could take those side seams out properly and then re-sew it, you probably would also have the opportunity to make it shorter, which it could look cute shorter. So there's that dress, that project. And I hadn't changed this doll's clothes for a while, so she was primed for a new dress. But my big thing over the weekend, I did all this fun with clothes on Sunday. On Saturday, that Little Charmers Hazelhead on the 17-inch Endless Hair Kingdom Barbie Dreamtopia Christie body. I'm rolling my eyes because I'm trying to remember how these things are called. I decided I wanted to repaint. So Saturday morning I said, I'm repainting it. And then as soon as I got done with the repaint, it's like, I like this enough, I'm going to make her clothes right away. Because I could have gone through, the body can roughly wear MSD size clothes, but not well. So I could have gone through my small stash of MSD size clothes and find things to fit her. Because usually, if I only have one doll in one body style, I'm hesitant to make clothes just for that, because who else is going to wear them? But I figured I could make a skirt for it, and the skirt would be generic enough, it would probably fit other larger dolls. So the cloth that I used for the skirt was cloth that was originally a skirt for a vintage Dress Me doll that I got secondhand, of course. It's probably from the 50s, maybe even the 40s. And it had been the doll's skirt, it had been, like most Dress Me dolls, had been sewn to her body, and I picked it out and I'd saved it. I didn't pick the lace off of it, I'd saved it, and I finally, for this, I sewed it back and gathered it back up into roughly her hip size, and then sewed a waistband on and put elastic in. Of course, I had to use a slightly contrasting fabric for the waistband, but like I said, if you sew it together, it goes together. So I decided not to make a whole dress for this doll, but make separate as a skirt and a shirt. And the shirt, I used some of that great vintage cloth Bailey scent. I used the bird print. So I decided, I don't know why I decided on the design for this shirt. I wanted to have long sleeves, but big ruffles over the sleeves, and like a half ruffle in back, and I got it all put together and made some quick jewelry for her. And this old action figure bag has always been too big for any action figure, 6-scale action figure I had, but hey, it's great for this doll. And here she is. Actually, I will say the whole outfit was inspired by the goggles, which these are doggles. And I got these years ago in a trade. Sorry, Floof. And they're a little big for 60cm dolls, although that's why I had them. They work great on Blythe, and I thought, well, this head's a little big. Would they work great on her? Or at least be the right size, and they are. So I wanted to give her an outfit that could coordinate with this pair of slightly metallic tan goggles. Like I said, I did the skirt first, and even this old tulle inside, the sort of crinoline, was original to the skirt and the Dress Me doll. So I left those together. They were stitched together at the waist, and I just left them together. And then this shirt, I used MSD size pattern, although technically my MSD size patterns are the patterns I made up for Tonners a long time ago. And with no adjustments, I mean, I left the dart out in the front just because that's the way I wanted to look, but I did put the dart in the back. I did have my pattern for this was short sleeved only, so I improvised on long sleeves and I got it right in the first try. As far as the length is maybe a little short, but the width around the hand is good, versus being able to put it on over the hand versus it not looking like she's wearing bells on her arms. And they said the kind of random ruffle at the top, but I guess it's like bird wings into the bird print. And then there's ruffle in the back that I did mess up on. I didn't realize that when I'd sewn the front side to the back that I hadn't stretched things enough, and so they actually came to different parts in the waist. So when I ripped them to be even from the edges. They actually ended up being different widths, so when I sewed them together in the back, there's a little bit of an error, but you're not going to see the back much anyway. And I made this necklace for her, which I spent a long time with my beads trying to pick out something that was just right. So I had also accumulated a stack of tiny beads that I thought could make a good bracelet for her. And I did, I don't know if I can push the sleeves up enough to show you. I did modify her elbows. I cut out some big chunks so she has a better range of motion now. If she lifts her arm up, she can touch her face. And I was all ready to make a pair of tights for her. I had this cloth picked out. It's pale yellow with blue stripes, so it pulled colors from the top and the skirt. But then I thought I should make sure I have shoes that will fit her. And I have several pairs of shoes that will fit her, but as soon as I got these old-fashioned, before they started making micro shoes for Blythe, this was about as small as they could make the high tops. I got these in 2006 or 2007. They were keychains from Claire's. But as soon as I got these on her, I knew that that's the look I wanted with the bare legs, the scrawny ankles, and the skirt, full skirt. So I did use a pair of socks that I already had made up for her with this pale pink stretch elastic around the top, or elastic lace. Elastic lace at the top of the socks. Most of the socks is just white knit. So, and I posted her pictures, and I think people are pretty happy with her, so I think I made good decisions on her. I might go into a thrift store tomorrow. I might just go to the library tomorrow and stay away from the thrift store because, like I said, I have so many doll heads and doll parts and doll things I could put together, and I have so much cloth that I could probably not go thrifting for the rest of the year and be perfectly fine, but we know that's not going to happen. So, until next week, what do you think, Floof? Bite, bite, bite. Bye.